Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Ellen Barrett, and we have a great show for you today. And we are starting off first with our news partner, Phil Anderson for U.S. Senate. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Ellen.
And now today we're going to shift gears and kind of focus on a different topic. We've kind of been going over some different things every time you stop by. We're talking about free trade. What is your opinion on free trade?
I think that free trade is extremely important to not only our economy, but to our foreign policy. The best free trade agreements don't take much to write them out, don't take much documentation. People should be trading freely across borders. It's good for the economy and good for foreign policy.
So does the U.S. have free trade right now?
Not really, no.
Okay.
NAFTA and the TPP that's been proposed and other trade agreements are not free trade, strictly speaking. They more or less pick winners or losers between different industries and different companies, set up tariffs and things like that. So it's definitely not free. It could be a lot more free than it is now.
Now, I want to talk about, too, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and we hear a lot about that in the news, I think, or the TPP. So what is your position on that?
Well, I think it's a small step in the right direction,
Okay.
but there are some serious problems with it. And it's also a trade agreement that picks winners and losers between different industries. And it also allows for some adjudication and rulemaking by an organization that's not really the federal government. So in essence, we're giving up a little bit of our sovereignty in terms of governing our own trade agreements. So I think it's a step in the right direction, but I don't like the idea at all of other countries, other organizations or groups of countries or whatever, having an influence on how we trade, how our companies trade. I think that's a loss in that sense.
Now, why does the government negotiate complicated, why is that such a difficult word to say? Complicated, there we go.
There you go.
Complicated trade deals.
Well, there's a couple of reasons. The reason that they would say is because they want to protect our interests. They want to make sure things are being, the trade is fair, and then they add in certain requirements like human rights stipulations and things with who we trade with and what sort of status they have. But what the real reason that they do it is because they want to respond, government and wants to respond to the people that are contributing to the parties, to Democrats and Republicans. And when a big industry like big pharmaceutical or big oil or whoever makes a contribution, they expect that they're going to get some protection from the federal government in terms of their dealings with other countries. And that, in fact, happens. And it's to the detriment of the American people, American workers, American economy. But that's why they do it, so they can control it, not to protect anyone.
Now, if we moved more towards free trade, do you think that would help our economy here in the U.S.?
Yes, I believe that America has tremendous advantages. Not only the fact that we've got the best educated, hardest working people in the world, but we've also have natural advantages that we've taken advantage of for a long time, and that is our location, our wealth of natural resources, access to ports in both oceans. How long has Russia been trying to get a warm water port and fighting wars to get a warm water port? We've got warm water ports in both oceans. Tremendous advantages, and I'm willing to bet on our workers and our industries to compete well in the international trade, as opposed to trying to protect them in ways that really just picks winners and losers among industries. And too often, the losers are people that are hardworking, smaller companies, individual companies, entrepreneurs in the United States. The winners are bigger companies, which quite often exist here, but also exist in other countries. So it's not even really very patriotic, so to speak, to have these trade agreements that restrict free trade, because the genius of America, the power and the energy and the creativity in America is with individuals and with businesses and with entrepreneurs and ideas and those sorts of things, not with big corporations.
Now, what will you do to facilitate free trade as senator?
Well, I would advocate for any trade agreement that basically simplifies our relationships with other companies or other countries in regards to trade. We don't need much. We don't need any tariffs at all. We should try to reduce the corporate tax to zero, if at all possible, so that the corporations relocate here and bring their capital back. That will increase employment here, increase demand for labor, increase wages, and that, in effect, is very, very good for our economy, not only companies and corporations, but for individuals and even labor unions. They'll be able to negotiate better situations, better deals, and be a lot more productive and profitable. The other part of that I don't want to de-emphasize is that free trade is an important part of our foreign policy. The more equitable and free trading that we do with other countries, the less terrorism there'll be, the less animosity, the less desire for citizens of other countries to be involved in violence and aggression towards us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Phil Anderson for U.S. Senate. Thank you for being with us today. Always great to hear your thoughts and have you on the show.
Well, thank you.
And Talk of the Town will be back with more right after this. Stay tuned to Channel 57. Welcome back to Talk of the Town, and I'm joined now by Jair Alvarez and Mike Diaz Law Firm. You guys both have your own law firms here, but you're located in the same building, which is really nice. And so if you are looking for legal services, it's a great place to go because they can help you out pretty much with everything. You guys have a resource or a person, it sounds like, for almost any service you might need. So thank you both for being here today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
And so I kind of want to dive deeper into what I just said, into all the services. What are all the services that you two provide?
Well, Attorney Alvarez and me, we provide services in the areas of family law. We provide services, criminal law, criminal defense work. I myself provide services in areas of bankruptcy, and Attorney Alvarez provides business law issues. So.
Perfect. Now, are there other attorneys in the building as well?
Yes, we also have two other attorneys. One of them is Attorney Kevin Boyle. He primarily does immigration law. He also does some criminal work. And we also have another attorney. His name is Attorney Richard Staley, and he provides areas of criminal defense work, family law, and trademark law.
Wow.
Being a prior musician in his prior life.
Oh, very cool. So what a list, between all of you guys, you two in particular, and then everybody else as well. That's got to be just so beneficial to the people who walk through your door.
Well, it was, the genesis for this was Attorney Alvarez and me met one time, and we had this discussion about the need to have an office that provides legal services to the community, but that we have provide a diverse level. And this is what the genesis was, and next thing you know, we contacted Attorney Boyle, and then Attorney Staley joined us, and we've been able to put this idea into motion.
Now, do you guys do a free consultation if somebody is thinking they might need your help? Can they stop in?
In my practice, I do.
Okay.
I do provide a 30 minutes free consultation just to see whether or not there's an issue. Attorney Alvarez has a different business plan.
Sure.
So does Attorney Staley and Attorney Boyle. So I'll defer to him to explain what is his business plan.
Sure.
Thank you. It really depends on the attorney, and it also depends on what type of case.
Sure. So when in doubt, give you a call?
Absolutely.
Right, and that's, I'm sure, the best way to go about it. If you're uncertain and you think you might need some help, just give them a call. Super nice guys, really all of the people over there as well. And it is so nice that you're just all in one building. And, there's somebody who's going to greet you at the front door, probably point you in the right direction, so super helpful. And now, as far as payment plan goes, obviously you guys are individual. Do you guys each do payment plans?
In order to provide accessibility for legal services, which is one of the biggest needs here in the Madison area and in other parts of the state, particularly in the western part of the state, we do have payment plan options. I do, Attorney Alvarez, I believe he does too, Attorney Boyle does, and so does Attorney Staley. So in that sense, for people who obviously they have a legal need, but they don't have what I consider to be a significant amount of money to hire an attorney, we do discuss with them and see their financial situations and how can we better provide the services without, as they say in the lingo, breaking their bank.
Sure, absolutely. And I want to touch on this too before we go, because I think this is what makes you guys so unique. Not only are you all under one roof and you're all kind of these separate entities, but you operate together, which really benefits the people you're serving. But also, all of you are bilingual or trilingual, or I don't even know what 4 languages would be altogether, but you all speak different languages. So what do you guys speak?
Well, as for me, I speak obviously English. I'm fluent in Spanish, French, and I have a basic understanding of Italian.
Wow.
I speak obviously English, Spanish, and also a bit of French as well.
Wow. So what motivated you guys to, really expand and not just 2, but 3 or 4?
Well, that's just, I think when Jair and I met, I think the need that we saw is a significant need to minorities, but also the public at large. How do we provide good quality legal services? If somebody who just speaks, an example would be French is their language.
Sure.
If you hire somebody who doesn't speak the language, then you'll be paying more. There has to be an interpreter involved. While in this case, you'll have somebody who speaks the language. You can explain your problem in your language with any difficulty that the message might be miscommunicated.
Absolutely.
Attorney Boyle, he speaks fluent Spanish. Attorney Staley speaks Spanish too. So, and what we try to do is to tell to the public, but it's not only speaking the language, it's also that Attorney Alvarez and me, we are both Latinos, so we're also bicultural. So
Sure.
we understand the nuances
Yeah.
of the different cultures as to certain issues, and therefore, I think our clients feel comfortable identifying with us.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Attorney Alvarez and also Attorney Diaz, thank you both for being with us today. We really appreciate
It
it.
has been indeed a pleasure, and thank you for inviting us. And anytime you want us to come back, I know Jair and I
Wonderful.
will be glad to come back.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And stay tuned to Talk of the Town. We'll be back with more right after this. Welcome back to Talk of the Town, and I'm joined now by Maurice, Dorn, and Deontay. Now, Maurice, you're the president and CEO of Supreme Hits Boxing, and then we've got two boxers here as well, so thank you all for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
And now I hear the storm is coming, or at least that's the name of the event coming to the Alliant Energy Center,
right.
where I'm assuming we'll see you guys possibly.
That's right.
Awesome, I'm excited. And so I want to just dive right in because we've got a lot to cover. And now, Dorn, you had such an amazing performance back in May. What are your goals now in the boxing ring, and what names would you like to get in the ring with?
Well, the goals right now is to win all the major world title out there, and it's some of the people I actually want to get in the ring with right now be Nonito Denier and Leo Santa Cruz.
Awesome. And now, Deontay, to you as well. I've heard people say that you are just so talented and that some of the world champions out there today, you know, that you could beat them and take their titles. And how do you feel about that?
Well, I've only been boxing for 3 years, so
Sure.
I have to show some humility.
Yeah.
But
That's always good, right? Good
right,
in the
right.
sport.
But I definitely believe that I can take some of the top fighters in my weight class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of that is having that mindset. You got to believe, you know, that you can do it, I'm sure, to achieve it. Awesome.
Absolutely.
And now, Maurice, I want to turn to you as well. Not only do you maneuver really and build up, you know, this great company that you're a part of, but you're also the trainer of these guys. And
Yes.
so how do you manage to do that all?
Well, I'll tell you what, stealing some of Floyd Mayweather's words,
Sure.
hard work and dedication.
There you go.
You know, I put everything in and expect everything out.
I love it. And building these guys up for
Yeah.
that competition in September, and it should be a great show.
Yes.
Awesome. And now, Dorn, so after your fight back in May, you went to a festival, it sounds like, in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I heard that many Hmong dignitaries came to meet you, and you are really considered a hero in the Hmong population. And how do you like carrying that on your shoulders, or what does that feel like to you?
Even though it may be like some big pressure on me, it's something that I feel I can actually carry the responsibility of it. So
Awesome. How did that feel to have, you know, Hmong dignitaries coming to meet you after that fight?
it's actually an honor to,
Yeah.
it's like a really great honor. So
Awesome. Very cool. And now, Deontay, what big names out in the boxing world would you like to step into the ring with?
To name a few,
Sure.
Adrian Broner and Manny Pacquiao. I think both of those would be great opposition, and I would love to fight those two guys.
Those are some big names.
Yes.
So how do you guys, just out of curiosity, you know, how do you prepare for a competition like the one coming up in September?
Just have to leave everything in training.
Yeah.
You want to win a fight before the ring, so that's our goal.
Is it a lot of mental preparation as well? Because you both just seem like so focused. I mean, super nice guys here too. We're all laughing, you know, before the show starts. But man, you guys have got the game face down.
Yeah.
Is that part of it as well, that mental preparedness?
it's a big part of it. So
How do you get in that mindset?
You just have to leave everything in training. You have to think about your opponent the whole time while you're training.
Yeah.
And just know that it's either you or him. At the end of the day, it can't be you. So,
Right. I love that. Oh, I love that focus. I think we all could use some more of that, you know, in our
Yes.
everyday life that you can take away from that.
Yes.
And now, Maurice, you know, obviously, I mean, just seeing these guys is
Yeah.
kind of getting me pumped up and like
Yeah.
excited, you know,
Yes.
that I want to come see this show. So what are the details over at the Alliant Energy Center?
Well, this is going to be a great night of fights. Supreme Hits is known now for putting on tremendous
Absolutely.
shows. It's nothing new. We're
Yeah.
going to devastate the house. We're going to make sure everyone gets their money's worth, that they're always talking about Supreme Hits in our shows. We want to show the world that Madison, Wisconsin is here to stay, and we're taking over the world.
Ooh, I like that. I love that. And I think that's true because, you know, a lot of people, maybe they're not thinking here in Madison that you're going to have these really world-class boxers and
That's right.
athletes
That's right.
performing. But you can go see it right here in Madison.
Exactly.
Awesome. And what are the
Exactly.
dates of that event coming up the
That's
storm?
September 24th. Doors open at 6.
Perfect.
Fights start at 7, and it lasts as long as it lasts.
Awesome. Where can people grab tickets?
You can grab tickets. You can come to Supreme Hits Boxing at 4700 McFarland Court in McFarland, Wisconsin. You can go online at www.fightertix.com, or you can get them at the door.
Perfect. So that's where you know to go for tickets. Awesome. Maurice, Dorn, and Deontay, thank you so much for being here today, and good luck to you
having
guys.
us.
All right,
Although
thank
I don't
you.
think you need it. And Talk of the Town will be back with more right after this. Welcome back to Talk of the Town, and I'm joined now by Brian Jackson, and you are the board president with WIEA. Thank you so much for being with us today.
No, thank you for having me.
And we're going to talk about WIEA and what that stands for, and also Act 31. So let's start with, what is WIEA for those who may not be familiar?
WIA is Wisconsin Indian Education Association,
Okay.
and just a little bit about WIA. We are a 14-person board, makes up 7 regions in the state. So 2 people from each region make up our board. The main purpose is providing educational opportunities for Indian people wanting educational scholarships. Part of that process, we have scholarships available since 1996.
Wow.
So it goes from high school all the way up to graduate level. And the other piece you mentioned about Act 31.
Yeah.
Act 31 is interesting because we actually held our 3rd annual celebration, but it's actually the 27th year in existence.
Wow.
And so we as a board decided 3 years ago to positively spin it to celebrate positive stories. A couple examples I name offhand. One is Ho Chunk Nation, Black River Falls High School.
Yeah.
Paul
It's
Ritkin.
close to where I'm from. I'm from the La Crosse area.
Sure. Well, Paul Ritkin, he's a social studies teacher and history teacher, and he actually infuses the curriculum into the school year round.
I love that.
And so part of Act 31 is really focusing on really 3 grade levels, 4th, 8th, and 10th.
Okay.
And so that's a result of the 1988-1989 spearfishing controversy, which was across the Ojibwe tribes in northern Wisconsin. And so part of that journey was with the protesting that took place, created the awareness. You know, the state officials and tribal leaders were saying, what can we do to provide American Studies awareness for folks across the state? So there's 424 public schools in Wisconsin.
Wow.
But not all those schools serve Native American students.
Right.
And so, but the 11 tribes that are adjacent to smaller communities, where I come from Lac du Flambeau, where actually the Wale War was really heavy. And there was, you're talking National Guard, FBI, 22 law agencies were part of that rally protesting.
Sure.
And so Act 31 actually began then, and it was stemmed through DPI as a statute, and for American Studies and Language to be some sort of curriculum, whether it's Native American Heritage Month, whether it's celebrating minimally. You know, I say minimally because it's some schools will do, you know, this say they did it.
Yeah.
Versus year-round infusion like Black River Falls.
Right.
Another champion is Prescott High School, Jeff Ryan. And both of those gentlemen are both non-Native American, and they both are champions of Act 31 in education. And so as a result of that, we held our first annual celebration actually 3 years ago here in Madison.
Awesome.
At the Crown Plaza. And so we had about 300 people almost, a lot of folks, and I wouldn't do any justice if I didn't acknowledge some of the key players that were involved, like Alan Caldwell, who's Menominee. He used to work for DPI. He's actually called the grandfather of Act 31 because he actually wrote Act 31.
Wow.
And so part of his journey over time, he mentioned one of his, which if he had to rewrite it, he would be to mandate language in there, you know, for schools, because it's kind of gray right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's not saying you have to do this part of the curriculum as long as you're doing something. And so then other folks like J.P. Leary, I should say Dr. J.P. Leary, UW Green Bay First Nations was a big part of that journey as well with DPI. And so now we got David O'Connor, who's in that position now. So those are some main players that work with DPI and as a result of Act 31. And so WIA's partnership with DPI, we actually provide some assistance through local school districts, academic institutions, different requests that come upon us from time to time. And so that's really, we have a wealth of partnerships across the state. Talking to Green Bay, Milwaukee, some of those educational institutions.
Very cool. Awesome. What an important part too, like the curriculum part really, that's really a part of our country's history. And I think it seems like at this point it should be a no-brainer, but what an important part of our history to have that act and have that be implemented and to continue to, find better ways to implement that into our curriculum and really, helping all the students and really everybody in our country in our great state of Wisconsin. So wonderful. Brian Jackson again with WIEA. Thank you for being with us today. And where can people find you for some more information or go to a website?
You can go to WIE.org or
Perfect.
you can contact me at Lac Flam Public School.
Wonderful. Brian Jackson again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Talk of the Town. You can find us next time only on Channel 57.